Hi, Colleen.
Hey, Jessie. How are you? I
I'm
feel like I haven't
good.
talked to you all week. How's the Lemmy Paquette household?
Things are getting dicey. I feel like things really have hit a peak with the 2 under 2 of it
Mm-hmm.
all. The bubble
Mm-hmm.
has burst.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we're not really in a bubble, but I just feel like we've hit our peak of like Darcy's awake. There's no potato in sight. It got
Wait,
a
3 months?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She's not just sleeping.
It got a little rough last week.
Okay. What
It was a bit
happened?
of an episode.
Okay. Do tell.
I wanted to bring Pierce to the zoo.
Okay.
I'm trying to be a good mom.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not just
Lofty.
like, yes,
Mhm.
not just stick him in the house. We were going to go with my sister. She has a pass. So I'm like, let's go.
Okay.
Darcy's a car screamer. She screams every second that she's in the car. She has a dairy intolerance. She has reflux. She's a mess. She's just a mess. By the time we reached the zoo, all 3 of us were crying. And like, it's not just like, oh, she cries in the car. It's
Yeah.
purple screaming. Like,
Oh.
it's so bad. And it's one of those things we have to go places. We stop 4 or
Right.
5 times a trip. You have to go. You have to drive. So Pierce is then crying and saying, Mama, baby, annoying. He's upset. I'm upset because the baby is annoying.
It's overstimulating.
And it's overstimulating.
Yeah.
By the time we get to the zoo, she can't recover. I have her. I'm holding her. She can't recover. I'm trying to get everyone out of the car. My sister's texting me, where are you guys? I'm crying. And I'm like, please, like, Pierce, I know, like, please. We're all crying. This group of mothers approaches me. Their kids were on a field trip. So they didn't have their kids with them. They were meeting them
Little
there.
wolf pack.
Yeah. And they were like, what can we do? And each one of them was like, I had a car screamer. I had a bad baby once. Like, all of them were just like.
Sometimes that's great. And sometimes you're like, no, leave me alone.
Yeah. Well, I was like, and so one like's pulling the stroller out. Someone's like, it's okay. Like,
Little
talking.
village.
Someone's consoling Darcy. Someone's consoling me. And my sister's looking for us. And she's like, I am looking for you. And I'm like, well, it can't be her because that's an entire group. And she's by herself. And she's like, and then I realized you were with that entire group. So my sister pulls up. She's like, Auntie's on duty. Like, what do you need? But it was like literally me in tears in the zoo parking lot. Like, very humbling experience.
So we've all had it.
Yeah.
So humbling.
Yeah.
I also think like you probably now know with a second kid, like you kind of have to just push past the car screaming because they all do it pretty much unless you get lucky.
Yeah.
But it can make 5 minutes feel like 60 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
We in a couple weeks will be driving to Virginia Beach. So that's like.
That just like triggered my fight or flight. You saying that I cannot
But
even
we
fathom.
always go in blind. Like, this is going to be so great. Like, they're going to do great.
You have amnesia.
We have amnesia. I don't know what we're going to do with George because he's no longer like sleepy baby, but he doesn't watch an iPad.
No.
So we're hoping he's going to enjoy the sights. We'll see. I'll let you know how it goes.
Keep me posted. Something tells me he's not going to be in.
I saw a video recently. Do you follow Claire Necessities? She posted.
Because of you, I do.
Yeah. She posted, she did a road trip and like all the goodies they bought. And she had these like amazing like trays that the kids were like had their stuff on and their snacks on so it didn't get everywhere. So I need to like watch that video of hers because she posted basically all the gadgets you need for the road trip.
I need that.
I mean, aside from snacks.
Yeah. Pierce, I will say Pierce is like a miracle child and he will just sit there.
Oh.
No matter how long the car ride is, we could have him back there for 4 hours. He'll just sit there. He doesn't have an iPad. He doesn't have anything.
He
doesn't have a snack. We don't do snacks.
He's a pleasant man.
Yeah, he just sits and likes to look outside. He rubs his ear and goes like this.
Oh.
Until Darcy came along. He is like, you have ruined
mixing things
everything.
up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Name Bubbles are award-winning personalized kids labels that go through the dishwasher and laundry and are made to last at daycare, camp, sports, and school. Designed for babies, toddlers, kids, and teens, these are the perfect stocking stuffers that you won't have to take a Sharpie to your kids' belongings any longer. Name Bubbles is the best way to guarantee that your kids' belongings actually start making it home with them and stop disappearing mysteriously during the day. Click the link below to check them out.
All right. So today we're going to talk about the P word, popularity, because it gets everybody buzzing. We'll do some examples and we're also going to talk about gender neutral names. So this is a big like 2020s trend.
Yes.
And it's a great trend because I think it opens up a whole new world of possibility on both sides.
Yeah. We're also going to get into our baby naming criteria, which everyone always asks, like, what went into our names that we chose for our kids, having been like professionals. So I think that's worth getting into.
So, well, let's start with that. So for popularity, when you were naming Pierce and Darcy, what was your sort of like line, or did you not have a line?
I had a hard line, 200.
That's so like that's arbitrary.
So
Where did you get 200?
my thing is, I don't actually think anything above 200 is too popular. And this is the thing with popularity. I always say to people, what does popular mean to you?
Yeah.
Because it's totally different. Whereas we're in like such a saturated name situation. I'm talking to parents day in and day out about their kids' names. It becomes much more extreme than the top 100. I get sick of the top 200.
Yeah.
I just find that most common, besides like those buzzy names that everyone's like chattering about,
Scotty.
that are Scotty, Wells, like those.
Yeah.
Those aside, the stuff in the top 200, I'm like, okay, for the most part.
Like you're a little tired of it.
Yes. And
Okay.
I also like feel like those are the ones on the trajectory for the top 100, unless they're obviously falling.
Totally. Yeah. No, that's true. Is your criteria different for boys and girls?
Popularity criteria, no, but overall criteria, yes.
Okay.
I think that, I don't know if it's even for boys and girls or if it's just like my first child versus my second child, if things switched up a little bit. I think I had to get more flexible. One of my things when I was naming Pierce is I wanted it to sound good in a Boston accent, because the thought of like my family saying it and it sounding crazy.
Paka.
Oh my,
Yeah.
Arthur. Oh, it's sickening. And so I was like, that was really important to me. And then like Jake's family's accents, like that was important to me. For my second, I didn't care. And I don't think it was like a girl thing, but it was like, I just didn't care
You just
anymore.
got over it.
I was like, oh, I just like,
it's such a niche.
yeah, it's like not a
issue.
problem. But yeah, it was very tricky to name them, I think, because the difference for me naming a boy and a girl, I had so many girl names I loved
Same.
versus like boy names I was
It's hard to even love one.
Oh,
yeah.
I could not find one.
Yeah.
And it's like with having a boy first, it took a lot of my girl names out of the running.
Oh, like like other
You know
names.
my situation. So all of the girl names I love are V names.
Yep.
But
Vienna.
I call Pierce P. I'm not yelling P and V across the playground. That's crazy work. So that was my thing.
I think that is a classic overthink.
Do you think?
I do. I don't think that's a big deal.
But we call Pierce P like a lot. It's not like a light work thing. So my thing is, say Vienna was my name.
Okay.
There's no other like V. V
Vivi?
is the natural.
Vivi.
Did you ever watch Dance Moms?
No. You can't do Vivi?
She literally is like, I got a cut on my finger. I hope I can dance. Like she's just like not a real person. But I couldn't do it.
Okay. I respect the criteria.
But yeah, so that was one of my things for my second child. It was like no V's, but all my favorite names were V names. So it like kind of created extra criteria. But yeah, I do think it's like one of those things of it's harder to find a boy name because there are less in rotation.
I think like in that sense, I think boy names can almost be easier because I think people are more selective and aren't willing to get as creative.
Yeah.
So you almost have a smaller pool that you're choosing from, which makes the decision a little easier. I just found it less fun. Like I love
It's so
many
much
girl
less
names.
fun. Well, my situation was there were probably like 3 boy names I liked.
What
Tell
were
me-
your other? Oh, Simon.
I loved Simon.
Okay.
I loved Oscar and Simon. Those were 2 that I really loved.
Okay.
I like Harvey. People get weird about the hurricane situation.
I
feel like there have
know.
been a lot of
I
hurricanes.
think it's regional.
And it is important and
Yeah.
that's valid. I just think that there are a lot of hurricanes and a lot of names.
And we can't let the hurricanes take our good names.
No, because it's just like I only liked like 3 boy names before and then I dated them.
Yeah.
So that already took my good boy names.
Yeah.
So it's like my advice to people, 1, don't pay too much attention to the hurricanes.
Careful
2,
who you date.
careful who you date. I wish I could go back in time. It was a waste of my time anyway. There
Yeah.
was no reason for
Yeah.
me to get those names wiped off my list.
Swipe right if you like the name.
Literally.
You don't want it
literally.
ruined.
It's so bad.
So, okay. I feel like a question when I post on Instagram polls, like letting people ask me anything, such a common question is this name too popular for me? So my question for you, I'm going to start with a layup. Do you think the name Charlotte is too popular for someone to use? If someone asked you that, what would you say?
I think the answer for the general person, no. No name is too popular to use if you love it.
Yeah.
For my own criteria, yes. And I also think it's like, what are you looking for? What's your goal? Is it too popular to use? Are you looking for it to be the only child in the class with that name.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. What's your goal?
Yeah.
Do you want a name no one's heard before? Do you just want to be one of maybe 2 in a class versus
Yeah.
one of 5? What's your goal?
Yeah.
And it just varies so much person to person that it is such a hard question to answer. And that's the thing too. People message us and they're like, I want a unique name. What number is that? Like I want
Like
an uncommon name.
Out of the top 20?
Yeah,
Out
like,
of the top 500?
Uncommon, is that out of the top 20 for you?
Yeah.
Because some people, it's literally out of the top 1,000.
Right.
It's so
Do you want
so different.
Calliope or do you want like Colette?
Yes, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
The other thing I like to remind people of, because I think the way a lot of people kind of describe it is I don't want my kid to have another child with the same name in the class.
That was
That
how
was
I
my
felt.
experience
Yeah.
growing up. And I think that's a really hard, the numbers don't predict that. It's so regional depending on where you live. Like
Yeah.
we live in a pretty diverse area.
Yeah.
And I just went to kindergarten orientation. There was one repeated name, Cole. Like who would have thought? There
That's
wasn't a
so
single
random.
Henry, not a single Emma, not a single Olivia. I've told everybody who will listen this story, but my son's preschool class, there's only one double name, and it's Rory, my son. Like I could have never seen that
What?
coming. So I think I'd be careful to put too much weight on that. The other like thing I like to always say is that popularity is different now than it was when we were growing up. Like
so different.
people they're choosing from a way bigger pool. They're getting more creative. People are wanting the less common names.
Yeah.
Not everybody. Of course, the common names are still being used. There are fewer repeats, again, depending on where you live. And so if you look at the exact data, if you look at Olivia and its use in 2024, I think there were like about 16,000 girls named Olivia. In 1990, the equivalent, Jessica, was used about 30,000 times.
30,000 too many.
30,000 too 29,999 too many. And of course, the population has changed since then, but like even accounting for that, it's still, there's just not as much repetition. So I think that should give people comfort in using a popular name because especially within the top 150, it is such a crapshoot.
You're probably not going to believe me when I tell you that I actually have 3 different kinds of Loop earplugs. I swear by them. I've been overstimulated since the very day that I became a mother, and Loop has changed the game for me. I give these to all of my pregnant friends. I really swear by them. Each different kind of earplugs that Loop offers has a different level of sound cancellation. Loop allows me to still be able to hear my kids and tend to them without being completely overstimulated, and I truly cannot recommend them enough. Click the link below to check them out and see which Loop earplugs are best for you.
Yeah.
Are there going to be 2 Lucys in the class, 2 Lilies, 2 Olivias, 2 Margos? Like Margot's the name I think hurting a lot, like breaking a lot of hearts right now.
Yes.
Because it's growing in popularity and people are wondering, is it too popular?
And I think it's one that people have been sitting on for a little while. I just think like generationally, you can track kind of where some names came from.
Yeah.
You have a generation that kind of like in their teenish years were coming up with like Margot Robbie. And you're like, Margot, like that's kind of a banger.
Yeah.
And then you have like Paper Towns. And it's like all of these certain things like that are molding this generation that are just like, ooh, that's kind of niche still.
Yeah.
But hive mind, everyone thinks it's a little niche. Everyone's having
Right.
the same experiences. And so all these people that have waited, they're like disappointed
Like
now.
I've been sitting on Margot for 5 years. I'm finally pregnant with a girl. Do I use it?
Yeah.
I think that's so personal. Like I think we're baby namers. Like we get turned off when we suddenly start to hear a name more. And like it loses sort of that like
Special quality.
pizzazz for us.
I think the thing too that I have really learned from talking to you a lot, and it's really opened my eyes, is even between the two of us, the consults we do are so different.
It's crazy.
I'm not sick of Margot at all. I have never come across Margot in like any, not
And for
never,
me, it's
but
on everyone's list.
maybe like twice I've ever seen Margot on
Wow.
people. I have people that come to me like, I want out of the top 1,000, give me
Yeah.
a word name, make it crazy. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of like my energy I
feel like
get.
it's the energy you get and maybe age. Like I'm guessing you get maybe slightly younger parents than I do.
And I think they also just, I'm very unfiltered. And I think I'm like, oh my God, I'm sick of that name. I'm sick of that name. And I think perhaps I'm scaring those people away, which I never want to because I'm like not sick of a lot of names. It's random ones that I get like, but even then it's not like real.
Yeah.
I love Margot. I like would be very excited if someone close to me used Margot because I never
You
come
never hear
across it in consults. So
Yeah.
it just shows like even among our like strange perspectives that we offer, it's so different.
Like we're having such different experiences
Yeah.
with like what names we hear too much.
But the thing that you have to think about too with popularity, with the Olivia of it all, how many years has it been in the top?
Totally.
Because
so
it's like how many collective Olivias are there? Because it's not like any other
it's
name.
been the top name for 20 plus years,
Yeah.
I think. And so even if you don't have an Olivia in your daughter's class, you're going to just run into them in
At
you
the
know,
park,
at the
in
park.
her office when she's in
Right.
college. Like that's the thing. It's not just isolated to your elementary school, to your
Yeah.
high school. It's becomes something like a lot bigger than that when
But
everyone.
if what you care about is the sort of logistics of her not becoming Olivia R,
Mhm.
then I think it's okay to use, because I think like there's just as likely a chance that there's going to be a Lila
Yeah.
in your class. Like,
So my thing with popularity, and I've like kind of been analyzing this within myself recently, like what is it that I care about? Because like you're saying, like what's the goal?
mhm.
And I've realized from talking to people that are like, get me out of the top 1,000 and make it
Yeah.
crazy. I'm not really looking for shock factor. I kind of want the opposite. I
I
want
want to underwhelm you.
to underwhelm you. I want
Yeah.
you to be like, oh, I want a name that's underused but not overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so my thing is like, I want them to be the only one in class. I also want it to be like if I'm having a conversation with you and I mention someone's name, you know exactly who I'm talking about because it's the only one that you know.
Interesting.
So that's how I see it. Of like people will say to me, like, so excited, I know a Pierce.
Yeah.
Like the kid at the grocery store by us, his name's Pierce. And they get so excited to tell us every time. They're like, what's his name? And they're like, we have a Pierce. And
Yeah.
it's because it's like an exciting thing.
That
'cause
is
it's
an exciting.
uncommon.
I agree. I think that is an exciting thing. And I had a name growing up that was like completely familiar but
Mhm.
not super
I
popular.
love that.
So I loved meeting other Colleens. Like it was an instant like bond for me. Like, oh, you're a Colleen, like you're in the club.
Whereas it really frustrated me.
As
Because
to
there were 3 Jessicas in my class.
Yeah.
And so I was like, great, do I get to be Jessie, or Jessica? What
Yeah.
a treat. Like it was just frustrating. And I felt like I would hear someone call my name and I'd turn around, they're never talking to me.
Yeah.
And it like really agitated me. And it is because I have a little bit more of like a big personality. And like
Do you?
yeah, just a little bit. And I think I would have liked to have like a name that people knew it was me.
Yeah.
And so that
It
was
would have suited
my
you.
goal. I think so
It
too.
would have suited
And I think
you.
my mom kind of fumbled, and it is what it is. We're getting past it. But I think there's a misunderstanding that everyone wants an unpopular name because they want to be so different and so unique. And like that's not always the case.
Yeah. Another question I see a lot is, do I choose a name, like names that start with EL
Mhm.
are popular for both boys and girls. So you've got Ellis for both boys and girls. You've got Eli, you've got Elijah, you've got Elliot, you've got Elio, Elias on the
Mhm.
boys' side. On the girls' side, like where do I even begin? Like
Yeah.
Ella, Ellie, Elsie, Eloise, Eleanor,
It's
Elodie,
overwhelming.
Eliana. Like, so what would you say to somebody who's considering a less common EL name? Do they use it, or does that feel tired? And do you worry that they're going to become just another L or Ellie?
I feel tired of it.
Okay.
That's just my honest opinion. I call it the EL epidemic. And that is where I do kind of feel a difference between boys and girls. My son's middle name is Elio.
Love it.
I didn't have that same like
Yeah.
I would have named him Elliot. I would have named him Ellis. I would have named him anything. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought twice. However,
I
like
agree.
I would have never considered an EL name for a girl for my daughter that I
Yeah.
3 months ago. I couldn't have done it. And it's just one of those things like I feel like Ellie is the top nickname in the country right now for
Hmm.
girls.
Mhm.
And that's just one of those things that I wouldn't want to do it. But again, what is your goal?
Yeah, I agree. And I don't actually know that many Ellies. There is not a single Ellie in my kid's school.
I had a
Um,
play group of 7 kids. 2 were Elowen.
Elowin is blowing up, and it kind of shocks me.
Yeah.
It's very niche.
And then the older siblings of the kids in this play group, there were 3 Ellies.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think it's
She's
definitely
out there.
regional. It's definitely regional.
It's regional.
I think whereas you live closer, like city-wise,
Mhm.
you get a little bit more flavor.
I do.
There
There's-
is not much flavor to be had in New Hampshire. It's saltine territory.
We went up to a library up in Plymouth not too long ago and ran into a Maeve and Rory at the
Mhm.
library, and I was like, those were our top 2 boy and
That
girl
could have
names.
been our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Parent Collective is a community dedicated to guiding new and expecting parents through every stage of pregnancy and early parenthood. Led by experienced nurses and midwives, the prenatal and postpartum classes offer way more than just evidence-based education on labor, recovery, and newborn care. They offer community and friendship. The Parent Collective was inspired by founder Jessica Hill's own experience of being pregnant in the UK. The support, community, and friendship she experienced there made her realize that American women deserve more. The Parent Collective offers in-person classes in select cities across the US and online worldwide. Use code Jessie10 for 10% off.
Yeah, I think I get sort of masked by the fact that I live in an area of pretty creative naming. We have some really cool names at our school, very unusual. And so I don't hear, like, I have a different experience. I never hear Violet, and that's like a number 15 name.
Yeah. And that's something for people to take into account. If you know you're going to live your entire life out in one place and, whatever, and that's all you want is for your kids to make it out of school, the only one.
Yeah.
Take that into consideration of what you're like, what you
Yeah.
have going on where you live. We are like nomadic people. I
Yeah.
can't use state data for anything.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going to end up, what's going to happen. So it just isn't really relevant to me. I think people that know they're going to stay put, it is relevant.
Yeah. I agree. I think so you can look up state data if you're interested. You can go to the Social Security website and look up your state.
It's very interesting.
It's so interesting. Like, go look at Massachusetts and compare it to Oregon. Like, very vastly
Utah's
different.
my favorite.
Utah, you're gonna get some names.
Tennessee, I think Wayland was like huge.
The cool cowboy names.
Yeah, it was ranked so
I
high
think
compared to the rest of the
Coulter,
country. Yeah.
Dutton, Wayland are big there. But yeah, at the end of the day, I tell people, like, I think the name should feel special to you. And for you, that might be Charlotte. You might have no Charlottes in your circle, and it does feel special to you.
Identify your goals first and foremost. What are you trying to achieve with this name? Is it just a pretty name that you like? Perfect. That's easy. Do you just want it to be like out of the top 10? Cool.
Yeah.
But like no one can tell you that a name's too popular.
Yeah.
Because it's you're the one that is saying it for the rest of your life. If you are happy saying it all day, every day for the rest of your life, then it doesn't matter that it's popular.
And I think the numbers just don't tell it all. Like, one name in the top 100 that I never hear, my pediatrician just used it, and I was like, that's so cute, is Naomi. And like, that's ranked pretty high. I want to say it's around 50.
It's very surprising every time I see it.
Yeah, I think it's in certain demographic groups. And so I personally don't run into it very much. I haven't heard it a ton. But I think it's so cute and like feels so fresh.
Yeah. One thing is interesting is I know a lot of people say that the top 10, the top 20 is very white and it's not very reflective of the communities that they identify with.
Yeah.
And there's like some frustration there. I do find that it's not as relevant depending on like spelling. If there are a lot of spelling variations for a name, which I find like, I think people have taken a lot of names from other cultures and blended them with like more English sounding letters, and it can create inaccuracies in the data.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing with was it Elani or was that one of the most fast rising names? When you combine all the spellings, it soars through the charts.
Yeah.
But it's such a muddled name spelling wise that we can't get an accurate scope of how popular it really is.
Capture that well.
Yeah. So I think it's one of those things. If you're not really seeing your community reflected in the data, that's probably what's happening.
I also find just the difference between boy and girl names and trendiness. I think boy names just tend to feel less trendy to me.
Yeah.
I think there are so many more girl names that people discover, latch onto, and they blow up. And that doesn't happen as much with the curves of boy names.
It's because we want girl names to be inventive and new.
Yeah.
And we don't want to push the boundaries at all for boys because we're so obsessed with, are they going to be bullied for it?
Yeah.
Is this a masculine enough name?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that leads me to our next topic, which is I want to talk about gender neutral names, which is a big trend in, I'd say the 2020s, but especially in 2024, we're seeing like a lot of names rise in popularity for girls that are gender neutral.
Elliot, Wesley, all obviously Scotty. Scotty's a whole different ball game.
I think we talked about Kylie, Kelsey, another episode, but she gave her daughters like pretty much traditionally boy, not even gender
straight
neutral.
up.
I would say boy names for girls. Wyatt, Bennett, Elliot, and then the latest is Finley. And like it's such a cool vibe. I think she really encompasses that vibe.
Yeah.
She's sort of unfiltered, not trying to impress anyone. And
Do you think there's a level of privilege with like famous people being able to do that?
yeah, like they're not worrying about whether their kid's gonna get a job.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's something that a lot of people are hesitant about. But I also have heard people say the opposite of, yeah, I gave my daughter a masculine name because I think it will benefit her
Right. And
when
like
she's in the career field.
yeah.
And I'm like, that's
I
valid.
think the cohort of names I see most popular amongst people I'm working with are sort of the gender neutral, but truly gender neutral, or even like they're leaning girl in use
Mhm.
at the moment. So the Reeses and the Blair
Yeah.
and the Sloans, the Collins, I think like the 2010 equivalent would have been like Kennedy and Peyton, which are like sort of like drifting out a little bit. I think those names are very flexible and have a lot of appeal to parents. Um, and I love like someone I worked with just did Sloan Eloise, and I loved that. Like,
I love Sloan
yeah.
Eloise.
And I had another Sloan James,
I really like that.
which I thought was really cool.
I'm a fan of Sloan. I'm
Yeah.
a fan of Sloan. I know it's kind of controversial. A gender neutral that I find to be very impressive to me is Miller. And I think it's because it's one of the few true gender neutrals.
Yeah.
Have you ever like clocked where it ranks both
No.
sides?
No.
It's like toe to toe,
Wow.
which is so uncommon.
Yeah.
And I think it keeps it really like healthy use for boys because no one's scared because it's too
Right.
girl.
That's what
It's
people
a true gender
get
neutral.
scared of with boys
Mhm.
is like they, especially with the surnames, which are proving to be very gender neutral and very flexible.
Yes.
I think people get scared that they're going to choose this like Anderson
Mhm.
for a boy and it's all of a sudden going to blow up for girls. I get the concern. I think it would have made sense 30 years ago. Now I just think like
It
I
feels
don't know.
silly.
It does feel
I
silly.
I see so many comments people being like, "Oh my god, I have a daughter named Pierce." And I'm like, I
Really?
love that. I think it's awesome. Never as the mother of a son have I gone, "Oh no. The girls are taking his name." Who cares? I don't think it matters. And we are so obsessed with right now soft boy names. We
So
love soft
obsessed.
boy names. Oh, but don't toe too close to the line
Yeah.
and make it feminine. That's
yeah.
you like the soft name because it's a little bit feminine-ish.
Right.
So why are you so scared of a girl taking the name?
Yeah.
Being a little one with allergies has historically forced parents into difficult compromises, often feeling like a no-win situation between bad and worse. Many allergy-friendly formulas are packed with undesirable sugars, entirely different from human milk carbohydrates, and other ingredients that taste unpleasant and smell even worse. This leaves parents feeling as though they're offering something more clinical than nourishing. Harmony offers nutrition as nature intended. Inspired by human milk, its formulas maximize the use of human milk identical ingredients that are clean and gentle. Designed to be naturally accepted by babies, the composition nourishes, supports gut health, and empowers families to feed with confidence and peace of mind. You can get involved and help make a difference by joining their crowdfunding as an early bird investor using the link in our description.
It's
Yeah.
very interesting and just plays into like
I think
society's views on the whole thing.
people naming boys sometimes get frustrated because they feel like the girls are taking like they want a name that feels like a boy name and the girls are taking everything. And it's like I can't even name my son Noah or Charlie anymore.
Why?
I know.
It's
To me it's just
crazy.
like I would have used Charlie in a heart. I think it is cute for both.
I love Noah for a girl. I'm so sorry. I'm the person that they hate.
They hate to see you coming.
I love the gender bending names. I recommend them all
Yeah.
the time. I would use them. Like they
So
hate me.
the trend I'm seeing amongst the like social media girlies is what I call my best friend's dad, which is like this sort
Yes.
of like friend Benny, Scotty, Drew, Ryan, Toby.
I literally was at the store the other day. I'm at like pulling out of the parking lot. This girl has a little jean jacket on and in bedazzled letters on the back, Drew.
Done.
I was like, slam on the brakes. I was like, look, that little girl's name is Drew. Jake's like, how do you know? I'm like, it's on her jacket.
Yeah.
And
you
like
peeped
to
it.
not like scare her and like be
Yeah.
like pointing and staring at this child. I was like, okay, keep going. But I was so excited
Yeah.
because it's so amazing to see it in person. I'm like, she wears it so
She
well.
wears it so well.
It's so exciting and so fun.
Yeah.
I don't see it as being a negative at all. She didn't take it. If I saw a boy named Drew, I'd still be like, slay. It has nothing to do with anything.
Do you think these names in 25 years, it's going to be like, oh God, you were born in 2025, weren't you?
No.
No. Okay.
I think some are. I don't think these ones.
Okay.
I think we're going to keep taking all the boy names until there are none left. And then no one can even say anything about it because it's just like, oh, all these names are gender neutral.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's like William. Benjamin. Well, I guess they already took Benny and Billy
That's the thing, Billy.
for the girls. That's so true. Yeah, I think the fun thing about this trend is that, like, if you're someone who's interested in traditionally feminine names
Mhm.
as well as gender neutral, it really opens up the field.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if you're trying to decide, that's the other thing. Like, what if you're interested in Isabel? You love Isabel. And then your other top name is like Parker for a girl. I think they're similar in that they're both polished, but they're such different vibes, and you just gotta like feel it out and what feels right for you. I think Isabel feels a little more classic. Parker feels a little more trendy. I think Parker, Remy, Tatum, these are other like truly gender neutral names that are equal in use for both boys and girls.
You know what I think is going to start happening? And this is perhaps a hot take popularity wise.
Let's hear it.
I think the way the trend cycles go is going to change a lot.
Okay.
The reason the trend cycles are as strong as they are and moving how they are
Yeah.
is because we don't want to know people that have the names we're naming our kids. We want a name that we
Right.
don't have associations with.
Right.
With this many names in the rotation now, I don't think it's going to be as generational
Agreed.
and as cyclical as it has been. Obviously, there are certain names that are going to define a generation, period. They're going to be time stamped.
Yeah.
But I do think at the end of the day, if names are getting used less frequently, as we see happening, it's not going to be the same cycle of like out of style, back in style. I think it's going to change because
Yeah.
it's not going to be like, oh, well, that's a mom name because it's just such
Yeah.
a less used name. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Totally. I think like no one I'm working with is interested in the top 10 names from 1990. Like the Jessicas, we've talked
No.
about it. Kelly, what else? Heather, Allison.
Heather's such a good one.
What I do get a lot from people is they like names that were around in the 90s but not overdone, because I'm working with a lot of millennial parents who are like, we don't want the new agey. We're tired of the new agey. We don't want the vintage. And so their common ground is like Brooke or Summer. Summer's a little more new agey,
Love.
came about in the 70s and has been pretty steady. It's sort of like a new classic that
And
I
I
think
think people like winter, but they're like, oh, that's so trendy.
winter feels too trendy.
Yeah.
Autumn. Like
Yeah.
I knew one Autumn growing up. But it was never overdone. I
No.
think Paige and Blair are similar. I think Callie and Hallie.
Yeah.
These are all names that like existed in the 90s but weren't overdone.
Well, I posted a video and I was like, yeah, use 90s names. And everyone's like, well, I'm not going to use a name I hate just because it's, and I said, so that's actually literally not what I said. Obviously, find a name from the 90s that you like.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to use like my cousins and my classmates' names. So pick one that you haven't met someone with. There are so many names, even from these time periods. You can find one that you love. But it's like very interesting that the notion is, well, I hate 90s names. You don't hate every name that was being used at that time. You know what I mean? Like,
We've got an extremist.
yes, yeah.
I think it's an especially good place to look for boy names. I'm seeing some.
I
Zachary.
love them.
I'm hearing at the pool the other day. Sibling set, Evan and Juliet. Evan is giving like 90s classic.
Yeah.
Drew.
We've talked about it. Taylor for a boy.
Taylor.
I
know people.
love-
Some people won't do it because it's Taylor Swift.
Who cares?
I'd say who cares
I
too.
think a cool boy Taylor like stands on its own.
I love it. A friend of a friend just had a baby and used Tyler. Casey. Like I feel like these were sort of 90s cool names.
My friends have a Morgan.
Really?
Yeah. And they were like, is that too Morgan Wallen? And I was like, no, I like
That's funny.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you're in Nashville, it's a little too Morgan
Yeah.
Wallen, but like up here, I'm not even thinking
I
that.
wouldn't think twice, no.
So yeah, I think if you're somebody who's wanting sort of like a new classic, going and looking at the lists of 90s names that were like deeper in popularity, like 200 to 300s, is a nice place to look.
Yeah, and that's where the popularity conversation gets so complex because do you care about popularity or do you care about uniqueness?
Totally.
Because these aren't unique names.
They're not unique.
They're just not high in use right now.
You're not going to
So
run into
do
many
you want
others.
like an invented, like crazy
Yeah.
name that's going to have shock factor?
Yeah.
Some people want shock factor.
Yeah.
Some people want the Whimsy Lou, the Malibu Barbie of it all. And
The sugar and honey.
exactly. And it's like, that comes down to just identifying what exactly you're looking for because it's
Yeah.
a totally different person.
Yeah. Another like, I think, name I love from the 90s, Meredith.
Do you know that's my friend's baby name? The one
Wait,
that's
really?
Team Green giving birth right now.
Oh my
She's either going to have, yeah. a
I
Meredith,
feel
or I
like
won't
it's
say
the
what else.
90s Margot. It's elegant, it's cool, it's not gonna get nicknamed, it's like familiar but unique, it
And it's
ages
gonna
well.
stay in that spot because people are gonna go, that's too Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
And so I think that's
Yeah.
such a good one. I always recommend it. Yeah, I'm on
What are
call
some-
right now waiting to see if she's about to pop out a Meredith.
Keep your phone on alerts.
Yeah, literally.
What are some boy names that you feel like are giving familiar but not overdone? Like the sort of, oh, I didn't think of that baby names. Like Simon.
I
know.
always bring up Simon, but I feel like it's in that sweet spot. Same with Harvey.
Yeah.
I don't find those to be overdone.
Yeah.
I just think they're like refreshing and it's
Spencer?
namey.
How do you feel about
I love
Spencer?
Spencer.
I
I just
love
recommended
Spencer.
Spencer to someone. I think it's a husband friendly pick.
I think it's a great choice.
Mhm.
I also love Clark. I think Spencer and
Yeah.
Clark have the same energy.
This is a hot take because it is very popular, but I find that Cameron will never feel overdone to me.
Agree. It's new classic.
It's so good.
It's never going to be a top 10er.
No, I love it.
It's kind of in that sweet spot.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Camden?
I love it, but I guess it's some whack town in New Jersey, so people get really upset whenever I recommend it. They're like, have you ever been to Camden?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I haven't, because why would I go to Camden, New
Yeah.
Jersey? But it's a nice name. I know a Camden. I think it's like wears well into adulthood.
Yeah. All right. So we've talked about popularity. Let's do 2 Name 911s to close up the episode. Do you have one?
The girlies need help. We have a lot. First one, I really like this one. They are very set on the name Sula.
That's really pretty.
I think it's so gorgeous. It's relevant to the nationalities that her daughter is coming from.
Okay.
First of all, she's white passing. They're concerned that it's going to be like confused as being like cultural appropriation-ish. The second part of this, they're aware of Toni Morrison's book, Sula, concerned about people thinking they named her after the book. First and foremost, I've never heard of that book. I think that sometimes our associations with things are more niche than we realize.
Totally agree. You're thinking about it way more than most people. Of
No.
course, some people are
Someone
going to have
somewhere
that. It's
is
a unique
going- yeah.
name. They're going to have that association.
In terms of the white passing issue of it all,
Mhm.
I think that if that is part of her cultural identity, it's part of her cultural identity. Someone's gonna say, "Oh, Sula, like where does that come from?" She's going to say, "Yeah, that I'm of that descent." Cool, and then
Yeah.
it's gonna be dropped. I don't
Yeah.
think it's like a concern. I also don't think that Sula's a super like polarizing name in that sense. I think
I don't think it is. It has like multiple origins.
Mhm.
And I think that is the case.
Yeah,
with
she
so
said
many names.
Hebrew,
It's like Hebrew.
Hebrew, Latin, and Old Norse.
Oh, I didn't know it was Old Norse.
Yeah, so I think that there's no reason it shouldn't be
Like,
used.
there's no rule with that name.
I do think regardless of how white passing someone is, their heritage
don't
is their
know.
heritage. Yeah,
Right.
it
like,
has
you
nothing
can't
to do.
like argue with her heritage.
Yeah, you're like, show me your ancestry.
Yeah.
Like that's just a little crazy. I don't
prove
think it
that
should
you're
be
allowed to use that name.
avoided by any means.
Yeah.
No, so we
Yeah.
definitely agree on that one.
Okay.
And
Done.
then you have someone
Okay.
in crisis.
So I have someone who's interested in using the name Francis with the middle name Gallagher. I was like, that's a slam dunk, done and dusted. Like, you have a 10 out of 10 name, and then the DMs start flooding.
Yeah.
You can't.
One
name-
was from me.
You can't name your child after Frank Gallagher from Shameless, which
For
I haven't
context,
seen.
Colleen's never seen Shameless. And I just think it's one of those things like you could not possibly make the call if you haven't seen the show. There is no more foul person in TV history than Frank Gallagher. With that being said, when you originally posted this, I thought Gallagher was the last name.
No,
That's a
it's
hard no.
yeah.
However, if it's a middle name, I do think it's dicey. I think there's like a little bit of wiggle room there. But I will say it's hard to make a call if it is a truly foul person on TV.
I just couldn't disagree more with this. I'm sorry, but like, I think there are some references you can't get past. Phoebe Buffay. Like, I'm not going to name my child Phoebe Buffay. You know, strong name. We've all seen Friends. There are characters from books and TV shows that everybody knows is a universal reference.
Mhm.
I haven't seen the show, but I feel like it's not relevant enough. If I had seen it, it probably would ruin it for me, but it hasn't. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. And I think it will be in the past. I also think it's the middle name. It doesn't
If
matter.
I pushed a baby out just for people to look at them and think of Frank Gallagher, I would lose my marbles.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah.
I think people put way too much weight on middle names. We'll get into
No,
that.
I agree.
We'll
I
get into that
agree.
next episode. I also think you are creating a new reference for people when
True.
you have a baby. I say this all the time with royal names, like someone who just used Pippa and they were like, is that too royal? I'm like, it is. Like that Pippa Middleton is the primary reference for people. You're going to change their
Yeah,
reference.
true.
And I think if you have a little girl named Francie, people are not always going to be thinking of Frank Gallagher.
Yeah.
And I think it's a small percentage of the population.
I also think I come from like a foul family that would exclusively call this baby Frank Gallagher. Like that's just like how we roll. And so I think it's knowing your circle. Like
Yeah.
my mom would call the baby Frank Gallagher, like lovingly. Like they're a very supportive, loving family, but we love a bit. We love to commit to a bit.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So I think it's just being aware of like your circle.
I had a former client weigh in on the conversation we were having, and I love her because she was so stressed naming a baby. She could not decide. She had holdups with every name. She landed on the perfect name that fit her son perfectly. It felt right. She had that experience of like, this is his name.
Yeah.
And she can now look back on it and be like, oh my God. Like, so one of her holdups is she was considering the name Max. And but her daughter's Ruby. And she was like,
Max and Ruby.
so I never saw Max and Ruby. So in my opinion, I was like, first of all, it's kind of innocuous. Like, it's not good. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Second of all, not everybody's heard of it, but there are people who are like, I couldn't do it personally. And she said, I felt like I couldn't do it. And looking back, that feels silly. Like, could I have stomached a comment? Everyone, oh, like Max and Ruby, like the TV show. And then we move past it.
Yeah.
So
That's very valid.
it was nice it was interesting to have that.
Someone on the other side
Someone
of
on
it.
the other side who's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
absolutely.
I overthought that.
But yeah, we're going to do a deep dive into middle names next
Next week.
episode. I'm very excited. It's much needed.
Okay.
People lose it over middle names.
Good luck out there.